Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Games Cage Dispatch. As always, I'm one of yours, Fidel, joined alongside my co-host here, Mr. Ultimate Shadow. Bro. How are you?
Good. We got surprisingly, there was a lot of stuff that I realized is coming up for today's topic. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. This is as a lot of you have known, or maybe you didn't know from the last episode, we rebranded Smash Dispatch to Games Cage Dispatch. That way we can start the discussions between me and Ultima with different various topics throughout the year. So let us know if there's stuff you want us to talk about, because today we are here to talk about something that is fighting game related. Obviously, you've seen from the title. We are going to talk about the fighting games of 2022. There's a lot of stuff coming. There's a lot of stuff we don't know when it's coming or if it's going to be announced. Now that I figured we just sit down, talk about all that stuff, and just have a good time in that sense, So Ultima, what's up? What do you think about how do you think right now, just generally, the state of fighting games is?
I think last year was, despite everything going on in the world, I think last year managed to be one of the better years for fighting games in recent memory. If you think of big releases, you had your stride that was huge.
Yeah.
You had the comeback with Melty Blood. Those are really exciting for a lot of different people.
Yeah.
We had a lot of great announcements, and we had Nick All-Stars Brawl come out. We had Multiverses announced. We had Street Fighter V wrapped up. They just did the last character, and we even got DNF Duel announced. So if you think about the amount of news and amount of releases that were happening, it felt like every few months there was a release or some big news about something last year. So now we're starting to see this year a lot of that come to fruition. I mean, obviously the one I believe that is closest to releasing is KOF 15, which was had announcements all throughout last year, and they had to push it back to February, but the delay is going to be make it worth it,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you. Last year was really good. I think especially Guilty Gear coming out in summer when COVID was getting a bit better and they could have locals, and the online obviously was great, and seeing that blow up was really good. Having stuff like Melty Blood, having the BlazBlue games get rolled back, netcode and stuff, it felt like last year was still pretty fun for fight. And we even I believe last year was also Gogeta in March, so there was a lot of cool stuff to look forward to last year. I feel like right now with the stuff we're going to talk about today, the future is looking bright, and generally a lot of fighting games are selling better and doing better. So I think in a good way they're getting into a good state. So let's start. So you have a list of the sort of games, things you could expect. So which one should we start with?
So I think we'll cover the ArcSys stuff first, because a lot of their stuff can sort of be bundled together. So first off, just ArcSys, we have Baiken First Drive coming out soon.
Should be the new next week or two.
Late January. We don't have anything specific. And
we should have a trailer
coming out this month. But it seems now they're sort of revamping the releases, because it really was a copycat, and they just announced Baiken immediately after. So I'm hoping a steady string of updates is going to keep the hype for Strive going really strong, because I'm not saying the hype died down, but it definitely felt okay, here's your two characters, and then they sort of went silent, and then they didn't have any updates, and then finally we're getting back to the characters.
Yeah, exactly. Also, the pass has 5 characters. Is Baiken's the 4th, right? I believe.
4, I believe. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we're already near the end of pass. So this game is for sure gonna get a pass 2. I have no doubt in my mind. That's gonna get a second one. But I agree with you. Where it sort of felt like Guilty Gear came out, had all this hype and momentum. It released Gold Lewis or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Gold Lewis, and then Jacko.
Then it was Jacko, and those two felt pretty steady in terms of time frames. I think Gold Lewis was August, and then Jacko was October, and then late. I think December was Happy Chaos. So we had him, and now we're getting Baiken, fairly soon. So steady stream of stuff. They still have not implemented the crossplay, which they had
really
said
think
ages
that's
ago.
Really hurting the game a lot too.
Yeah,
I think again, crossplay only helps increase your player base, helps your player base play together, and I think that lack of crossplay is definitely one of the factors why it felt man, I just want to play with some friends, but they all have it on different platforms. I think that's also a problem. I'm hoping it gets resolved soon, because I believe they said it was really Sony holding them up on it, which is a Sony move, but we'll have to see.
No, that's the thing. It felt like it was weird because they had put like a tweet like a long time ago, like in the late summer, they were like, yeah, like the crossplay is in its last phases between release to release. So I thought it was coming very soon. So we can hopefully expect that this year. And yeah, I just can't wait to see really what's going to happen, how cool Biken's going to be. Like I said, we're the 17th, so I'm expecting, you know, maybe the trailer, the character breakdown, stuff like that for that character. So yeah, hopefully Strive continues to do well, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and then obviously, like, it's interesting to see who they'll do for the last character on the past, because not only is, I think they said it's either going to be like a returning character that was like a popular one, but the last character comes with a new story mode. There's another story mode coming with that last character. So
interesting.
It's interesting. Are they going to be a story important character? Are they going to be blah blah blah? Like, and I'm really excited to see what that means. And I also, it's possible, like, the fact that they have to do a whole new story chapter with the last character. Maybe that was why there was a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, probably.
We'll have to see what happens with that last character. But I'm super excited to see who it could possibly be, because again, there's a lot of like impact with having a whole story chapter attached to that.
Yeah, exactly. And I assume like that story chapter might tease a few characters that'll be in the next season, which can be really interesting. So yeah, that's it for Strive. But then we got Dragon Ball FighterZ, speaking of Arxis, right? We know that we don't know when it's coming, but we know early 2021. I assume it's going to be in February during the Dragon Ball Battle Hour thing. They are dropping we thought the game was done, but yeah, they're dropping a new character, and it's Android 21 Labco. I don't know why they didn't just call her human form. I don't know why they called her Labco. That makes it sound like dude, when they first announced it, I genuinely thought it was a costume.
I thought it was a costume.
Yeah, because it was like Android 21 Lab Code. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is like an all. But then I realized, wait, like, in her human form, she doesn't have a tail or any of these attacks. So yeah, we're finally getting a new character for the game. The team promised sort of more excitement for the game going into, you know, next year, and we have like games like Xenoverse and stuff still getting content. Yeah, and I think that Dragon Ball Battle Hour event that's going to happen in February, which they had last year, is going to be telling a lot about what's going to happen with fighters, because I'm not really a fan of like I have to sit in the dark and wonder, like, are they gonna drop a character or not? I'd rather like know, like, if you're gonna not, because I think what's gonna happen is going to be that they're not gonna do a season pass. I feel like it's just gonna be like, hey, we're making here's an ultimate edition of the game with everything. There's gonna be lab code this character, and we're gonna drop 3 characters in the game, maybe even for free, you know. So I don't know if they want to commit to a season pass or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this last season, it could just be like, it's not a full season. It's just here's a little bonus season. Like they throw in like 2 or 3 more characters. And I'm expecting the characters to be sort of remixed versions of existing ones, just because, like, for sake of budget and time, like that's just an easier thing to do. You can still have them do cool moves and stuff like that. I mean, we'll have to see. Like, again, we're gonna see when they have that event. It seems like that event's gonna be really where they talk a lot about what's next.
All their Dragon Ball stuff.
Honestly, like, if this was a game they wanted to keep supporting for like a really long time, I think most people would be like perfectly okay with that, because, like, again, this game was so revolutionary for just, you know, getting a lot of people into more traditional fighters, but it's so well done. It appeases the Dragon Ball fans and fighting fans. So, like, a lot of people don't want to see this game just get dropped. You know what I mean?
I mean, this game next year, next week, this game's gonna be 4 years old, and like it's still such like a really beloved game. It's so well done stuff,
and it really raised the bar for just anime fighters as a whole,
absolutely,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I think people are still chasing that. You know, like I love Strive, and you know, I love a lot of anime fighters, but the insane amount of levels of animations and things going on in fighters is still like very on its own level in that sense. So I'm hoping we get more of that. Like I said, I'm expecting, you know, Ultimate Edition with everything in it, because we have yet to have that in the game, and then some bonus characters. Yeah, and the problem is, like, the biggest issue with the game now is no rollback, and the problem is Bandai, right? Bandai is the one holding them back with that. I feel like if this was the fact that they went back to Central Fiction, which, like, that's a Discord game.
Yeah. Those games that haven't really been in the spotlight for a while. Yeah,
those are Discord games, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually funny because now while we're on rollback, we have the whole fiasco that they are re-releasing Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and they're saying maybe if enough people want it and it sells well, we'll get rollback in the game. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
that was I mean, like, speaking of that game, it's just I really am disappointed with Persona 4 Ultimax. I think it's like it's the most bare bones, like here it is, like just enjoy, like no bonus character.
Here's the thing. Is a lot of Persona fans, like, we're just happy that the game is back out and available, and you can more easily play it with other people. But it's also a letdown because it's like you said, here's the game. And it's like, when they re-release like Third Strike, and when they re-release other games, like they add improvements. They're like, here are extra colors, here's blah blah blah. The only thing you're really getting with this re-release is all the DLC included, which is good. Yeah. But then it's like the rollback thing is the most confusing thing to me because it's like Arcs. I mean, first of all, it's Arc. I mean, I know Atlas has to put in the money. Atlas has to approve of it, but like.
I think it is part of that.
People would want that for an Arxis game when Arxis just put in rollback for Cross Tag. And by the way, Cross Tag has Persona characters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's so funny. But the only thing I can think of is that we're getting a Persona 5 Arena, and they're investing it in that game, the rollback. Like, it's gonna be announced this year. Like that would be the only way I could understand. If like this summer, we get at E3 or something, like Persona 5 Arena announced with rollback, I'll be like, okay, then whatever. It's fine that P4 didn't get rollback because like at least we have this. At least we have some big new Persona thing to have that. That's the only reason I could see that. But yeah, besides, I feel like they messed up a big selling point of the game, especially it's just. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But again, like I'm happy for the people that never got to play the game that are gonna get to invest in it. It comes out in March, so we're pretty close to that release. Yeah, like Arxis pretty much has a monthly thing, and like I said, like January they got Biken, February they've got what's it called, the Dragon Ball thing with Android 21 hopefully, and then in March we have Persona. So there's something to look forward to there. There's also Melty Blood, right? Which that's not them. That's a different.
Melty's French bread and. Well, they publish.
They're published, right?
I don't think they published this one, but
right. I think in Under Night
characters came out for Melty Blood,
right?
And they were both free. They literally just dropped two free characters.
That's really cool.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, if there's a pass, I'm gonna have to buy more DLC." But no, it seems like they are set on. At least the first two characters were added for free, which is great.
How is the game right now? Because it's been so long.
It's really good. Like I played it recently. I went back to it. I tried the new characters out. I played a few matches with some friends, and it's still a lot of fun. I think like again, Melty Blood is always going to be that game where it has its own niche. So it's like, people the fans of Melty are always going to be playing this game. It's still going to have a dedicated fan base. But it is nice that this one seems to just get more attention in general, even if like. I don't a lot of people I know who are interested in it don't really play it that much, but it's still nice that the game is out and is still getting regular updates. And again, like free characters, you can't go wrong with that. So I think definitely it'll be interesting to see what they have coming next for it as well.
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely a big deal there. And I'm excited to see what that team does. Yeah, but in terms of also like just to wrap up Arxis at least, do you think something like Arxis? I mean, I guess we have DNF Duel, right? That's gonna be their big release.
Duel, which is crazy how that game just materialized out of nowhere.
Yeah, that game was gone and now it's here. But yeah, DNF Duel, a lot of people played the beta, and I feel like the reception mostly was that like. It is fun. It just needs some balancing, some fine tuning. I think a little bit more speed I would like for the characters and stuff. Lobby system, it's better than the what's called I think that was just the beta issue.
Hotel lobbies,
the Habbo,
Arxis loves those cheapy characters at the arcade thing for some goddamn
I like
reason,
that. I don't mind.
Yeah, at least when I actually got to play the game, because the first day of the beta was awful, the next day was fine. At least when you got to play, it was interesting. And again, like it is unique that you have simple inputs with like cooldowns on your ability. Like all the characters can do really cool broken things. It will be fun to see once you actually get a proper training mode. You can figure out what you're doing because they didn't release a training mode. With
It feels like Street Fighter mixed with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yes,
because Grand Blue also had that thing where you selected specials and they had cooldowns. So it's a really interesting mechanic and idea. But like the game is gorgeous too. Like the game just looks so.
And the animations on like the supers and everything are honestly crazier than what I see in Strive. Like honestly, they popped off super hard for this game. I think this game will have a lot of hype, even if a lot of people don't even know the source material, which is really cool.
Which
and
is the case.
They basically, I don't know if we have any new characters or announcements, because now they kind of went dark. They dropped that beta. They dropped all the characters.
Well, even the beta was like, here's 4 more characters we hadn't had trailers for, which is really cool. I feel like there's probably gonna be maybe 5 more that we don't know about. I feel like that like would round out.
And then I believe Nexon, who are the people who own doing it, they have their own event, and they actually revealed the release date, which is summer 2022. So we have until summer, which is honestly great, because like if this released like too close, it would have been like oversaturated. Like,
exactly.
Way too many fighting games coming out. So I'm glad this is good for summer. I'm excited to see what else they have in store for it as well.
Yeah, so I can't wait for DNF Duel, man. DNF Duel is gonna be a really fun. I really enjoyed my time with that beta. I had a good time with it. Yeah, but like in terms of things Arxis hasn't announced, I don't know. Like I said, Persona 5 Arena's in like the cards. You know, that could potentially happen unless they just call it Persona Arena.
Like you said, the re-release of Ultimax really could be Atlas being like, are people still interested in this? Do people want to buy this? Should we do a new one? Because that seems like what they usually do is like they'll release something, and then they'll see if people want it, and then they'll base off the surveys and stuff like that. But no, I think a Persona 5 Arena will happen down the line. I feel like it's easy money, especially because it's P5. I just think Arxis, the only reason it hadn't happened was Arxis was working on too many other projects, you know?
Do you think they're making another Blaze Blue anytime soon? I'm not sure.
So the interesting thing is the Blaze Blue, if you don't know, had a gacha.
Right,
for
that
some reason,
flopped,
and it shut down. But Mori, who you know obviously is head of a lot of stuff at Arxis, but he said this isn't the last thing you'll hear of Blaze Blue.
Of course,
Like what we're still, we still know that there's a lot of fans. So I don't know if that means like a new game. I think at least re-releasing with rollback for Central Fiction could have been like testing the waters for something. I don't think it's dead yet. I do think right now I think they're trying to push Strive too much, and like Strive a lot. And when Strive is over, maybe they'll run back a Blaze Blue or something.
Another big thing I want, and everybody wants from Arxis, is to know what their next anime fighter is, because people obviously adore fighters. Ever since Fighters, you've just had this floodgate of people being like, I hope they make a JoJo anime fighter, I hope they make a One Piece one, I hope they make a My Hero one. Like you have a lot of people that want to see different anime fighters from One Piece, and obviously the dream would be that they make a Jump Force, they make like a Jump All-Stars game. That's like the ultimate dream, which is why I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, no, I mean like Arxis I feel like seeing another anime fighter from them might be like a big tease they have laid this year. Like I said, I don't know. We don't know what the relationship right now is with Bandai. Are they gonna just continue with the success of Fighters, just make a sequel to that? Are they working on a One Piece Fighters? There's not really an indication of what they might be doing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see a new anime fighter, because again, it doesn't even matter what the anime is. If it's an Arxis game, a lot of people are going to be invested in it regardless. So I would be kind of surprised if like somewhere down the line they don't work with Bandai Namco again, because it just seems like such an easy success for formula.
I know, man. Like I feel like, and if they do another one, I want it to be on the level of Fighters, where like you have your dramatic finishes, you have your like every character feels like they're from the series. Like I feel like My Hero would be really good. I mean, they're literally characters with powers. They've gone far enough in the anime and manga that they could like have a lot of like story moment finishers and stuff. Obviously, again, even though it's not my biggest bread to tea, like One Piece would be insane. Like so many people would be happy about One Piece. There's obviously a ton of big moments they could recreate and all that. So
I think JoJo is one that a lot of people want to. The last real JoJo fighting game was I think it was Eyes of Heaven. It was more like a 3D arena fighter, which it wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. But like the thing is that like the last proper like traditional JoJo fighting game was done by Capcom like ages, like I'm talking like 90, like 80s, 90s period. And like at that point, part 7 and 8 didn't even exist yet. Like it's actually crazy to think about how long ago that was, and that game still is really, really good. So I think like again, a lot of people would love that sort of style for JoJo, especially because part 6 is going on. Like JoJo's back in the forefront. There's actually a ton of JoJo spin-offs going off right now. So I definitely would like to see something like that.
Yeah. Then we got obviously our other king of fighting games, Capcom. Capcom has, we don't like, it's so weird with Capcom, right? Like they've had this whole, for the past 5 years, right? They've had this whole thing where it's like the golden era of Capcom. They're releasing, the best versions of all their IPs, but the one thing we have yet to see from them make a comeback is their fighting games. Like that's their legacy.
It's the only area that they've been in a hole for, and it's weird. Strange. I think. Here's what I think happened. I think, like they said, that last season of Street Fighter V with like Oro and Luke and all those characters, that wasn't supposed to happen.
No, absolutely
they even
not.
said this was an extra to tie you over, that they were basically sort of bringing in new things. And I think basically what I believe happened is Ono was like the main Street Fighter guy. He left Capcom. He was out of Capcom. And they sort of, I think they had a lot of that new talent come in. And I think that last season was really like, let's have the new talent, like try and add more Street Fighter, like, get their hands in there. And I really felt like also that in COVID, I think also delayed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, both. Yeah.
Into this year. But that being said, I'm very, very happy Street Fighter V is over.
Me too.
Even though it got significantly better, it just felt like it was in the same hole.
Yeah, it stumbled.
I'm excited to see what new talent they could do. And this is the 35th anniversary. I'd be surprised if they didn't have something.
Oh, they will, 100%. No, the fact that it's the 35th anniversary means they straight up said, we'll see you guys next year with more updates on Street Fighter. They're going to announce Street Fighter 6. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of collection, because like they have the 35th anniversary collection that pretty much has all the notable ones and stuff. So unless they made like a remake of one of the old games or something, I feel like maybe for Street Fighter, I think 6 is going to be the big highlight, and I think, like I said, they've had time to work on it. I really do think Ono was holding them back, because it was rumored that I believe what the rumor was, that he was trying to make it a tag fighter, and that like it tested a lot, and that like that was sort of dropped and not doing well. So that was that with that. And so with Street Fighter 6, I just wanted to be hyper stylized. Like I want an art style that I can, love and not like, because no matter what character they added,
like honestly, like I know
so
like
ugly.
Street Fighter 4 era, it didn't, like, you go back and you look at some of the cutscenes and you're like, this doesn't look as good as I remember, but it's still like, I like the stylization, the more anime style. I think SF5 was trying to hit some weird middle ground, and a lot of characters just looked awful. Like I'm not gonna,
everyone looks awful. I don't know, like the way character models are, it's like when people do their like special animations, like it's just
physics
so
on hair and clothes are so
it's
weird.
awful. Like, it's really just bad.
Honestly, what I'm thinking is gonna happen, and based on what they've set up, I feel like there's either gonna be finally like a big future jump,
right?
Because they said like they want to set up Luke as like a big thing for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Now, Luke's story in Street Fighter V doesn't.
It's so funny.
There's nothing there. Like, it doesn't set up anything.
I think,
they're gonna do something with him. They said he's the future, so he's
I
probably
think they mean his moveset.
Either this happens in the future, or weirdly enough, Rose's story says that she wants to reset things back to 0.
Right.
So they could be going back to Alpha, which is a more anime-styled one. I don't know. We'll have to see.
That'd be dope. Yeah. I think also like when you see Luke's playstyle, he's very fast. He's very like he's got a lot of counters within him. He's got like a lot of cool mechanics within that character. He's got a lot of wall bounce combos, which I think is something they want to push. So I do think if a lot of the future characters play like Luke and have that more fast-paced feel and more of a stylized thing, I'm gonna be okay with that. Like I said, I am confident in them. I think the reason they've taken so long is because they want Street Fighter 6 to be nailed. They know they cannot do what they did.
They can't drop the ball again. They know that. I think they have to. They're spending a lot of time in like, how can we make this the best one? How can we do this, do that, and make sure that we're up to the standard of everyone else? Because like again, it is so weird that Capcom of all people are lagging behind, because they haven't even put out anything for any other like sub fighter stage.
They used to have so many.
It's Fighter the whole time,
Yeah, again, like I said, it's been so disappointing. Especially, this gen we had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which really messed up the MVC. sort of love and spotlight. And I know a lot of people like that game, and it's a good game. It's a solid game. It's just it has issues, and it is very ugly, and it's not really appealing. So, I mean, obviously the big one that people really want that I think is still gonna get still a ways off is MVC2, right? Like that was a big one.
Another MVC. I know a lot of people want that. I think especially now because the MCU has so many newer, cooler characters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Again, the other problem was the influence of Disney now, a lot of the reason why the roster in MVCI was the way it was because Disney wanted everything to be really tied into
pushed,
the MCU.
Yeah, which I didn't like.
It's interesting to see, it's a double-edged sword. I think a lot of people right now, I would be down for another SNK versus Capcom.
Right, me too.
Because SNK really is
they'll do anything.
Front. And they have a good relation with Capcom now.
Absolutely.
For a while they didn't. Now they do. I mean, they've been re-releasing some of the crossovers with Capcom. Like they had a card fighting unit put out. There was a portable Capcom versus SNK they put out on the Switch actually. So they are in talks with each other. And I think right now this would be a good opportunity to have another crossover with those two.
Dude, I've said this. I love Marvel vs. Capcom, but I want Capcom versus someone else. I want Capcom versus Sega. I want Capcom versus Bandai. I want something else. I feel like Capcom. I love that. Like I said, I would love MVC2 remaster and stuff like that. But I feel like I want them to spread out. I really think a Capcom versus Sega would be a match made in heaven. That would be so perfect. They both have just so many characters. They could do such crazy movesets. It would be insane. You know what I mean? And we can only hope. Yeah. And with Capcom, there's nothing else that we know about right now, right? I assume.
No, they just said here's our 35th anniversary. We'll see you soon. Stay tuned. We don't really know what they've been cooking. We just sort of are speculating at this point.
So we'll see. And then we have King of Fighters. Speaking, we were talking about SNK, right? We got King of Fighters 15 coming out just a month from now. We're very close to the
pretty much just a month.
Date.
Yeah, February something. Yeah, 15th almost, I think.
Dude, that game looks awesome.
I think it was sort of rough at the beginning because there were delays in news and the trailers were I don't know what's going on. But then they really stepped it up and they were here's a character, and here's a character, and here's a silhouette, story.
It looks
really
awesome.
Cool. And visually speaking, they really stepped up their game from even Samurai Showdown, which looked pretty good.
Absolutely.
So I'm super excited. Again, the rollback, I've played some of the beta. The rollback was very good. They actually made it better.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only thing that I can hope for is maybe it gets crossplay down the line, but I'm super excited. And they already have DLC roadmaps planned for what's cool is that they're, a lot of fighting games is here's your one character, right? But because King of Fighters are teams, they're doing entire teams as DLC. So every pack is 3 characters.
Right, yeah, exactly, which is awesome. Do you like the 3v3? Do you like 1v1 more?
Okay, so it's hard. I think I much prefer a 1v1 fighter because I can just focus on learning one character. A lot of it is harder to learn a 1v3, but also it's more fun because again, you get to have opportunities to play more characters in one match. So
comebacks and
it's
stuff.
Up in the air. I think King of Fighters for at least what's exciting to me is I think a lot of people this is gonna be their first King of Fighters they really play, especially after Terry and Smash.
For sure.
I'm hoping that this is something that a lot of people invest in. It is. I'm not gonna say it's the easiest thing in the world, but you can have a lot of fun with it and get better at it. And the fact that it's only 4 buttons, I think, helps a lot too.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think, like I said, even I played the beta. I thought it was super fun, and I really do think the game looks really good. And I'm just really excited for it. The character moveset's fun. I think that game is gonna do really well. And like I said, diverse cast of characters, 35 for a not Smash Bros. Game. Launching with 35 characters is awesome. That is an amazing amount of characters.
And a lot of the characters, again, were they have a good mix of fan favorites, but then also having characters that people didn't think would come back, like
K9999.
You had a lot of other characters like Ash that people didn't think would ever see the light of day again. So it's super cool that you have them back. So it'll be exciting to see what they have for the DLC because it seems they're really focused on pleasing fans with this one. So that's super cool.
Yeah. So can't wait for that. Are there what else is there on the list?
We have well, NetherRealm has been silent.
Right? Yeah.
We don't know after MK11 they finished that. We haven't really heard anything from them.
The heavy rumors have been
People
Injustice.
are theorizing, like, are they working on an Injustice? Are they working on a Marvel game? We don't know.
Well, the thing is, right? Like we had a few months ago that Nvidia leak where like a shit ton of games leaked there, and so far they've been like on point with everything that's leaked, and Injustice 3 was on there, and I think it just makes a lot of sense for them to do Injustice 3. You know, people really love the first two. You know, they sell a lot. They have such a good NetherRealm and DC are like buddies. Again, I would love if it was Injustice.
Warner owns NetherRealm.
Yeah,
technically Warner has DLC. So yeah,
exactly.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, especially because it seems like now DC universe, like for the movies at least, and for the media, that seems like on an uptick. Like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, DC stuff's getting really good again.
Doing
like
better,
you have Suicide Squad, you're having the new Batman movie coming out.
Because they rebooted everything basically.
Yeah.
No, like I said, for me, not the most exciting thing. I don't think I'm really a fan of NetherRealm fighters anymore. I think they're a little too slow, in a sense. And,
and a lot of the problem, I think for me at least, like while I enjoy the animation and looking at like seeing the cool thing the characters can do, like, ultimately NetherRealm has this problem where they launch with the lamest character and it just ruins the game for like 2 months. Like all the zoners, all the projectiles, like Injustice 2, you can see the cool stuff the characters can do, but when you watch like certain characters, it's like fireball, you have to dodge approach. It's just it's so lame. I just hope that they can avoid that pitfall.
Well, because the thing is, like especially Mortal Kombat, like is massive casually. Like I think Mortal Kombat 11 is like one of the best selling fighting games ever. It's like it has like 13 million copies out there. Like casuals love that game. Like that's a game like people just buy just to play with their friends in offices and all that stuff. So yeah, no, it's still big. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what they do. They're a talented studio. And also, I mean, speaking of NetherRealm / Warner Bros, we have Multiverses, right?
Yes.
Which is the next big smash, like that a lot of people have had their eyes on. And yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, like to me, I think this game is going to be good. I think it's going to be solid.
It pains me to say this because I was in the open beta. I played it with I played it solo, I played it duo with a friend. Right. And I had a total blast, but unfortunately, and I shared this with you before, they made me sign this like a huge NDA about you can't talk about specifics, and they were like, we will send judges at you, we will send lawyers at you, like
kill you.
I wish I could talk to you guys about this
of course,
specifically because it was really a blast, and then they actually showed on their Twitter account like a few months ago, like. There is a video of the game being played at actual speed. So the people who were watching that initial show were like, is the game this slow? Why is the game so slow? They slowed it down so you could see what's going on. The actual game's not that slow.
Cool. Yeah, no.
But it's a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see when they have more news because they kind of have been silent for right now. But
yeah, I assume they're going for a news blog.
Like the voice acting is really good. Like just the fact that it's there is great, and it's a big selling factor for so many people. You know?
Like I said, my one, like I'm excited for it. I'm excited to play. I think it's going to be fun. Like I said, my one concern is the fact that they are leaning very heavily on 2v2 rather than 1v1 because like characters. I mean, characters' moves, there are certain moves that are specifically designed to help somebody, right? Like, like the smoke or all that stuff. Like, they're not like things that like you really can benefit from. So it's like they want to push 2v2, and I think that's going to be really fun. But in a sense, it's going to feel casual fun. I don't know if this is going to be like big stage at EVO, or like stuff like that.
See, the good thing is that I think because this is Warner Brothers and they know that the biggest area that Nintendo's been lacking up until recently was the competitive side of things. I feel like Warner, they've already thrown like so much money at this. I'd be shocked if they did put more money into this for the sake of like having a scene of their own. Like even if it's not at Evo, there probably might be a circuit, just a Warner
there's going to be a mini circus, because they just have that money. Like that's the big benefit this game has. It has money behind it. You know, having the voice acting, having characters from all these different franchises, it's gonna be really funny.
Are there too?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see like once we get more news and more info about it. I really am praying to do another open beta test because like, I want people to try this game. It was a lot of fun when I got to play it. It'll be and again, I think with regards to like, you know, because it has that doubles focus, it'll be interesting. Like it is fun to play alone. And moves do have like properties, like even if they can help an ally, but it will be interesting from like a balancing perspective how they manage to make it all work.
For sure, for sure. So can't wait to see what they do.
I'm looking forward to getting more news. I'm looking forward to also. I'm really hoping Nick All-Stars has another big update soon.
Yeah, no, we should talk about that. Yeah, because that game definitely like that game to me is just I think unless it gets some like fucking like massive 2.0 Nick All-Stars, here's 5 new characters, here's costumes, here's voice acting, I think the game right now is like dead. Like right as of right now, the game is like dead. You know, no matter how we feel about it. And I think it's a good game. I think it's solid. It is dead right now.
Obviously, like with fighting games, I wouldn't say a game truly dies, but definitely a game that gets out of the public eye, definitely enters people's minds. I think people haven't really thought about this game since Garfield came out. Even then, Garfield wasn't even like a huge driving force for a lot of people to go back and play the game seriously, put the vote time into it, which is like, you know, again, it's unfortunate because I think it's the issue with Nickelodeon holding it back. Like you have the issues with like the fact that they had, not only did they have a slashed budget, but they had like rules that they had to put in place that seemingly didn't apply to other games. Like, we'll have to see. I mean, again, I'm hoping that I'm really like happy with the devs for sticking through it, trying to make it better. I'm hoping that even though like they've been sort of quiet since Garfield dropped, they have something big.
Yeah, planned. They added some costumes too. Like they clearly like care. They're trying to do stuff.
They're trying to make it a better game and improve it for the players. Hopefully they get voices if that's a thing. I know they're trying to get voices down. Again, like, even when Garfield dropped, I went back into the game and I noticed visually, like even animation wise, the game looked a little bit better. I think they're also trying to improve the graphics with what they have as well. So.
Again, I think this was a game that I think I know what we know they were not expecting it to blow up like when it was first announced. Like that game, the memes and all the stuff, like that game blew up way more than they even expected. So I think that's why they were pushing for an earlier release date. That's why they were pushing, you know, that's why like it seems worse than it should be, is because I don't think they were expecting this game to be even Nickelodeon. You know, they pumped out so many of these fighting games.
Didn't think this game would get popular. And they didn't give them the budget for it.
So again, I think right now the only way they're gonna be able to really bring people, because right now the only people that play the game are the people that are playing the game. I think the only way they're gonna be able to bring people back in is a massive like, hey, here's Nick All-Stars 2.0. You know, 3 to 4 new characters. Here's a bunch of new stages.
We revamped a lot of stuff. I think that's voice the best move. I think having just a big revamp would be the best thing to go about it. You know,
it'll do well for them if they do that, and I really think they have to.
So, and then I guess the last, you know, obviously the last Smash adjacent thing we have is that circuit, the official circuit.
Right.
I'm hoping that we get more details on that soon. The Global one, that's gonna be a really big deal. You know.
I assume the reason they're holding on info is because like we're in a weird state with COVID, right? We're like. It's weird.
I really think like a lot of it sounded to me like they really were pushing to have like in-person events for this,
right?
And now we're in a spot where that's up in the air on that we can even do that. So I'm assuming there's a really big delay in figuring out what the hell they're gonna do with that. Maybe we'll get more info once stuff starts going down again. But we have that coming forward. And then unrelated stuff that we have, because I just remembered 2 more things.
Right.
We have Project L, which is the League of Legends. The
League of Legends fighting. The
League of Legends fighting game is
a big deal.
They showed more of it, and they said we're gonna have more news. I don't believe it's releasing this year, but we're gonna see more about it throughout the year. I would hope. And that game, I think, the potential to revolutionize like fighting games is there. It's with that game, because like Riot and League are so huge. and also especially after Arcane, how big sort of that IP
the
is.
IP is back in the public.
It's gonna be crazy there.
No, yeah, I think the League Fighter has the potential to do a lot of damage in a sense of like they're gonna put their foot forward, and there looks like they're making a very competent fighting game. You know, it's gonna have amazing
Especially
online.
a tag fighter, which a lot of people have wanted for a while. Like, they wanted a new tag game.
Yeah, and like from the gameplay I saw, it looks so good, and the fact that it's gonna be free to play is going to be a massive deal. I think that's such a big deal. You know, you're gonna get so many people in there, and it's going to be a quality fighting game. It's not gonna be free to play, like limited budget.
The guys who are working on it, the Cannons, I think like they also like even helped develop rollback netcode. And when they were explaining how their netcode worked, they're using like, again, League of Legends servers are across the country to how big that game is, and they said like if someone lags, it's gonna be one-sided on their side. And like it will punish them for disconnecting, and they have that infrastructure already there, which is like insanely good. And also the other factor is League of Legends really was the reason why esports as a whole blew up. I mean, there's no denying that.
Of course,
really so you know Riot is gonna throw like the competitive scene for Project L is gonna be huge. They're gonna throw in all their money behind
absolutely.
that. You know
No, it's gonna be massive. Really can't wait for that one. There's that. There's also Bandai in general, right? I mean, like I'm sure like Tekken. I think we're a little too early for Tekken 8. I think that's like a ways off.
Yeah, they still very much support Tekken 7. The last character only really came out last year too.
I think we're like 2 years away from Tekken 8. You know, whatever they end up doing for that series. I'm looking at their other games here. Again, they're probably gonna do Soul Cal 6. I don't think I think it's pretty much done for now.
Soul Cal's pretty much done. The other, what was I about to say? The other fighting game that sort of peeped up last year and then went back down was Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter, the random one.
Is Sega gonna do Virtua Fighter 6? It's sort of up in the air. Nobody's really sure.
Yeah.
The only other fighting game right now that actually is getting updates this year, we have more Skullgirls content.
Right, Skullgirls. Yeah, Skullgirls fans always eating. You know, I'm happy for you guys.
It's actually so this is gonna be the 10th. This is the 10th in April.
Wow.
The game's 10 years old. 10 years, and now it's sort of like getting its really big upswing again, which is crazy to think about.
Because they were able to leave, right?
What's that?
Isn't it because they were able to like leave the publisher person they're with? And
so like initially Skullgirls launched, and actually it was published by Konami, and then they had to pull out of Konami, and then they had to release. They had to do the Kickstarter to get the game back, and then they had all the characters, and then they had everything going on with the
creator
being a dickhead. And they left, and everybody left his studio, and now they have their own team. All those people are still working on it in their own way, which is really good. So last year they announced the DLC pass. I believe there's 6 characters on it, which is crazy. We already had the first one, Annie. Umbrella released early access, and I think now she's almost complete. She isn't public yet, but she's almost complete. And then they announced Black Dahlia, which is they just announced she's coming. We don't have any other details, but there's still a lot of content on the pass coming, which is exciting.
I'm excited, bro.
Have in store, but I'm just really happy the game is doing well, especially because it's like the 10th anniversary.
That's crazy. I can't believe that game's 10 years old. That's insane. There's that, and again,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. What are some what do you think to wrap up some surprises you like? A big one for me, I want Pokken too. Yes,
I agree. I think that could be something that Bandai Namco, like the Tekken team, could have been working on in the shadows while 7 was wrapping up. I mean, that's entirely possible. Because we just had the Pokemon anniversary not too long ago. I feel like it's a good time because for a long time, like I've said this, Pokken 2 sold
sold a lot.
The re-release of Pokken on Switch,
absolutely.
Pokken 2. That re-release sold very well on Switch for a good period of time.
Yeah. Again, the only thing that hurts a bit, and again, he could have been lying. But a year ago, we had an article being Tekken producer says, Pokken Tournament 2 we're down to do, but the decision is out of our hands. So, again, pretty much a very Pokemon company thing to do, where it's we do a spin-up thing and maybe we'll make 1 million of them, maybe we'll make 1. But I really do hope that eventually we get a Pokken 2. That would be something I really look forward to. What's something you'd want that isn't announced?
I think besides Pokken 2, I'd really be interested in seeing if Capcom, let's say it's not necessarily a Street Fighter 6. I would be down if Capcom did another Capcom versus Capcom. They just,
that'd be dope.
There's a lot of those older like characters and fightings and IPs that they have that haven't seen the light of day. And I don't think they have to necessarily make it a crossover game with another company. It doesn't have to be a versus. It could be another fighting jam where it's like, let's get all, the Dark Darkness back in. Let's get like the character like Jin, Captain Commando, Arthur, like just have these characters.
Bring all these weirdos,
Like, we sort of saw that with Akira in Street Fighter V. She's a rival schools character,
right?
And she was just in Street Fighter V. And normally they don't really do that. Like the Final Fight and Street Fighter are merged, but they haven't really brought in other characters like her specifically in.
Right.
So that could have been like, maybe we'll see more of that in the next Capcom game. It's like, we'll bring in all our Capcom characters in it. You know?
That'd be really dope, man. I want something like that. In terms of other ones I'd like to see, like I said, I think I don't know, like I feel like for the most part, aside from anime fighters, like I said, I would love if they kept investing in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like that really is my dream. Or if they made a sequel, they were like, fuck it, like we've sold a shit ton. We love our relationship with the Bandai for this. Like let's keep going. But yeah, no, I think for the most part, these are things. Like I said, Capcom versus something like we said. These would be the main things I want. I want either way. We're in a good place. We're in a good place with fighting games in general and all that stuff. Also, like now that we have N64 online for Smash, like drop Smash 64. It would be fun.
That'd be fun. It'd be fun to play that again. Yeah,
for fun.
Sure, online. Especially because, like, funnily enough, from what I understand, the online play for the emulators has rollback.
I've heard. Yeah. That's funny. But... So guys, let us know what you guys want to see most from this year's fighting games that you're most excited for in the comments below. Of course, follow, subscribe to me for more stuff. Twitter on the download, though. Ultimate, you can find him YouTube and Twitter, Ultimate Shadow X. And that's it. That's all. So thank you all for watching. Peace out.
Peace.